The future of Austin's transit system is up in the air. City officials are working on a major transportation bond for next year. We have some breaking news out of Southeast Austin, where Austin police are investigating an early morning shooting that left a man dead. Downtown Austin business owners are urging City Council not to take away ordinances concerning the homeless. New overnight, 2 people are sent to the hospital after a major wreck on I-35. It's interesting because they might be buying groceries next to you. They might be, sitting next to you at a restaurant. You just don't ever know what these women are going through.
Right. I think the traffickers are very good at keeping control.
A lot of people definitely worried here on campus. This whole death is being investigated as a homicide at this point. And even though her identity has not yet been released, her body was found here right behind me in this creek. Well, right now we're actually right by the Blanco River, and I'm standing right on a slab where there used to be a house. And if you look behind me, there's about 5 other lots that way where it's exactly the same thing. These houses were just completely ripped off. A lot of people have already made their way to Juarez to be there for the Pope's visit. Like some of the people that we actually met in our hotel this morning. Finally together again.
It's been 3 weeks.
I know. I missed you.
I missed you too.
I'm sure our viewers missed both of us, hopefully.
I hope
Fingers
so.
crossed.
Yeah. If you didn't, don't tell us.
Don't tell us.
No.
So.
She's gonna blow. Get back.
Okay, guys, that was a lot of fun. I don't know how many times I could say that I jumped from a burning car behind me. Yoga. Yeah, this one.
She's a baby.
It's taken over the internet, and it's taking over Good Day Austin today.
I would always wear something long-sleeved or jeans to cover up my skin on my knees.
Growing up was not easy for Meta Iyer.
I didn't really know what was happening at the time.
At age 8, she was diagnosed with vitiligo, a disease that causes people to lose pigment in their skin.
I first saw symptoms on my feet. It started on my left foot, and it started to progressively go to the rest of my body.
Meta went through several treatments, but nothing seemed to work. So her parents decided to move to India in search for homeopathic remedies. But again, no success. The family eventually moved to Texas, where she started to notice the impact her appearance could have.
I started to see people staring at me and whispering and talking about my skin. I felt so terrible, and it was really difficult.
It could be really emotionally devastating for some people.
Laura Bosworth is the CEO of Tevito Biodevices. Her company is working to streamline a procedure that helps those with stable vitiligo experience repigmentation.
There is a process that you can move healthy pigment cells, skin cells called melanocytes, from one area of your body to an area where you have lost those melanocytes.
To accomplish this, doctors take a razor-thin sample of healthy pigmented skin from the patient. The sample is shipped to Tevito's lab in Austin, where they process it and ship it right back to the patient's doctor.
It's 2 techniques that will lightly take off that top epidermis, and then you apply these living cells, living melanocytes, onto that slight wound, cover it up. Over the course of a few weeks, you should start seeing pigment, and then typically within 6 months, most of that has come back.
The treatment is currently performed in many countries, but in the U.S., only 3 universities have labs set up. Tevito Biodevices hopes to make the treatment accessible to everyone and have been working with local experts to make that a reality.
This is an exciting time. I'm hopeful that in 5 to 10 years, we're going to have a whole gamut of treatments for vitiligo.
Dr. Amar Ahmed is a professor at Dell Medical School. He tells us help for the disease has been largely ignored by the pharmaceutical companies.
No one's going to die of vitiligo. At the end of the day, it doesn't usually cause any symptoms. But what it does cause is a lot of suffering. There can be a lot of stigma associated with it, mental suffering and things like that.
I think it's really great that people who have vitiligo have somewhere to go to get help.
Meta is now a pre-med student at the University of Texas, hoping to one day help others as her doctors have helped her. She tells us she has become comfortable in her own skin, but isn't ruling out the procedure in the future.
Maybe further down the line, I might try something.
If you look to the Austin sky, you might just see it.
Not many places around the country to do something like this. It's something different.
The Austin biplane has been flying the Austin skies for about a year now. The Little Red Plane is a reproduction of a 1935 biplane. Built in 2012, it meets all of the aviation regulations, promising some amazing views and exciting experience.
It's just a totally different perspective. I've talked to so many people that have lived here their whole life and they never really got to see Austin from the air.
Robert Whiteside is the owner and operator of the biplane. A former Air Force pilot, he decided to change things up a bit.
I've taken 6 and 7-year-olds to a 92-year-old, so you know, whether it's an old man that used to fly and can't do it anymore, just looking to reconnect, or a young kid that's, you know, thinking about being a pilot, or everywhere in between. So we make everybody happy.
With that conviction, I decided to take a leap of faith and go for a ride. But before we hopped in, Robert let me know we would be doing some aerobatics or tricks in the air. So I needed to strap on a parachute. Headset was on and seatbelt was fastened, so we were off. It didn't take long before we started seeing some of the Austin icons like South Congress and the Capitol building. Seeing the Frost Tower from the top down was incredible. It's no wonder Robert often takes people on sunset flights all the way to Lake Travis.
Watch the sunset, drink a bottle of champagne, and the beauty about this plane is that I can put 2 people up in the front seat, so husband and wife or whatever sit next to each other. I fly the plane from the back and you get a great view. You have to use a sippy cup though because it's open cockpit.
He's even hosted a few marriage proposals in the air.
I don't know, I've probably had 5 or 6 so far.
After about 20 minutes, it was time for me to experience something I never thought I would. A 360 flip and a barrel roll. I was warned back on the ground this would be happening.
The plane is fully aerobatic, so it's certified to do just about everything, but I take people up and I do a loop and a couple barrel rolls just so they can experience going upside down.
But this was when my fear of heights kicked in.
All right, I'm going to take you through a loop and 2 barrel rolls.
Oh my God, I don't know if I can do this.
You can do
I
it.
don't know if I can do this, to be honest with you. I'm going to have
It'll
a
be
heart
quick.
attack.
It'll be over before you know it.
Oh my God! Are you kidding me right now? Oh my God, I think I had a heart attack.
After it was all said and done, I couldn't stop laughing. Maybe because I couldn't believe I just did that. A few more scenic views and we were back on land, ending an experience that I'll never forget.